afternoon. By the way, I am Camille Peter from Baptist Tree. And we are the group 2. We're here to tackle about or to report about the science technology in a good life. First, we tackle the human flourishing. A human flourishing is a Greek and a Western concept that is often misrepresented by an overdeveloped and high technological society. Is human flourishing supposed to be conceived as always? Unmitigated industrialization, often represented by first world and highly urbanized countries like the United States of America, or many European countries. And these are the aspects of, some aspect of human flourishing. The first one is the physical well-being. Physical well-being ensuring a good physical health, free from disease and pain. So kita mga tao mo ay need mo dyan ka na healthy lifestyle mo na focus na to on go, glow, and grow. So that ma-maintain na to physical well-being. And aside from that, hindi lang ka sa food and days para ta ma-healthy lifestyle. Be happy. And that's all. And the second one, the emotional well-being. Experiencing positive emotions such as joy, love, and contentment. The emotional well-being has a lot of people, not only the people, but also the animals have experienced emotional well-being. And with that, they experience pain, happiness, joy, love, and the greatest love of all. So the third one, psychological well-being. Having a sense of purpose, autonomy, and self-acceptance. So the psychological well-being, so like me, I consider myself as a member of LGBTQ. I am a member of LGBTQIA+. I consider myself as a transgender. So that I am having a purpose in life and self-acceptance of all. The fourth one is social well-being. Social well-being, nurturing positive relationships, feeling connected to others, and having a sense of belonging. So the social well-being is nurturing positive relations also. You connect with your friends, your family, and especially to your loved ones, so that you have interconnection to your life. And the last one is spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being, having a sense of meaning, purpose, and connection is something larger than oneself. So, sabot-abol naman kay siya sa spiritual well-being. So, let's continue in an essay titled Buddhist Economics by Schumann. He uses religious and moral principles to the question of human flourishing. He opens the essay with the lines, right livelihood is one of the requirements of the Buddhist novel. Eightfold Path, it is not clear, therefore, that there must be such a thing, such as Buddhist economics, spiritual, health, and material well-being are not enemies. There are some natural allies. So, what are the idea of Buddhist economics? Buddhist economics believe that production is a very misleading term. According to them, the procedure is something new. An old form has to be destroyed. Therefore, production and consumption become complementary to each other. So let's proceed. The human condition. Adaptation refers to the unique experience, challenges, and incomplicities that are inherent to being human. It encompasses, number one, the mortality, the awareness of our finite existence and availability of that. So, do you believe mortality?
Yes.
That there's a person going to die. Like for example, there's one person going to die. And do you believe mortality? That they can bring back to his life or to her life? Even though they have sickness, they have mental illness, so that is mortality. So the second one is, may have everyone to read the vulnerability. Anyone here to read the vulnerability, okay? Please read.
Vulnerability, the susceptibility to physical and emotional harm, as well as the risk of loss and uncertainty.
Okay, thank you for your participation. Vulnerability. This means that emotional harm as well creates a risk of loss and uncertainty. So you're being so sensitive. There's a lot of them, or a lot of person here are being so insensitive. So let's proceed the impermanence. The constant change and flux that characterize human life, including the impermanence of relationship, health, and circumstances. And the meaning of this is like the character development of the people, like how to develop the human life, well-being, so that the fourth one is freedom and choice. The human capacity of self-directed action, decision-making, and creation of our meaning and purpose. So, no, from the word freedom and choice, I believe na naman yung mga tao nga ganahan yung freedom, bisa naman ang sikinsab, bisa man ang gani ang langgam, ganahan na o freedom, kay ganahan sila maka-enjoy sa ilang life, makalupad sila with their wings. Diba? Samot na ka ang mga tao, na-adjust tayo freedom, especially our choice. Not a choice to love someone, to pick someone, to choose someone that who are deserved to be chosen. And the last one is the interconnectedness. The inherent social nature of humans, including our needs for connection, community, and relationship. So, we said earlier that we have the interconnected. Not for me, not for my family, not for my friends, especially to everyone. You need to interconnect so that if you have a big problem, you have, like I said earlier, you have a choice and freedom of speech, like that. The relationship between human flourishing and human condition. The human flourishing is deeply intertwined with the human condition by acknowledging the accepting the complicities and challenges of the human condition. So let's start the cultivate resilience. Cultivate resilience, develop coping strategies and learn to adapt to the adversity, like the trauma, tragedy, treats or significant source of stress to bounce back from a difficult life events. So that is cultivate resilience. So the second one is the first word, gratitude. Appreciate the present moment and the opportunities in present. So the first word, gratitude is nimo siya Tagalog, value. No? Hindi mo siya mawagtang, dapat nimo siya mahihisan, dapat nimo siya i-keep. Kaya na ay value. So, the third one is the develop empathy. Recognize our shared human experience and connect with others at a deeper level. So, develop empathy. So, you need to, if nakakay ibati, kung sa man kabukat ang imong ibati karon, nakakay kanang strength na pwede ka mo share sa imong gibati na kasakit baron or kalipay sa usa ka tawo nga like connect with the others at a deeper level. So, number 4, find meaning and purpose. Create our own meaning and purpose in life. Correct. Dapat ka mag-create of meaning and purpose sa imong life. Kay kitang mga tao naman dyan tayo mga goal. That's why we study. We work hard. Kay natin mga goal in life. Natin purpose ang kalibutan. Muna, need you to mag-study, no? Kaya para naasa tayo mga new knowledge. Not in our home, but also in school. So, the number 5 is nurturing positive relationship. Build strong social connection and support network. So, you have to nurture kung saan ang imo or nurture a positive relationship with others, build strong relationship with the others na pwede ka nilang masaligan. Like, ang example ani like, ang pagsandig sa tao, kung saan mo siya pagkuha. Then, that's all. That's my part of our report. Thank you so much, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Miss. So, I'll start my report. So, Mikay, can you please read?
Disability. Schumacher refers to the labor as a letting go of leisure and housework. In relation to this, wages are under makahibaw na exist na siya kung dili tungod sa mga scientist o sa ato ang mga sa internet nga wala ka kahibawan ng butana nga nakahibaw ta karon. Then mas kuansad mas in that way makagintag another knowledge nga maka improve sa ato ang kaugalingon nga ma-share pa nato sa uban. So Aristotle say that true comprehension starts with direct observation of reality. Now, ang tinod nga comprehension kay nag-start sa ato ang mga observation. Kung saan ba rin mo pagkahibaw og knowledge kung saan ba rin pagkagiin og knowledge kung dili ka mag-observe sa imong palibot. So, nag-start ang ato ang comprehension sa pag-observe sa ato ang palibot. Then, Aristotle use the word eudaimonia, which is translated as human flourishing or happiness. So, lawag kay siya mga word no, eudaimonia, pero usaray meaning happiness. So, eudaimonia is an ancient Greek word that means happiness or flourishing. Ang word na din means happy. Ang word na daimyon means individual spirit. So, in human flourishing, ang eudaimonia means the concept of living a complete and fulfilling life, while ang eudaimonia sa happiness kay good life.
So, to continue the Aristotelic Nicomachean Ethics, we have here the book. We read certain passages that discuss liberation as about ends, perhaps even about the highest end of eudaimonia. So as we all know, eudaimonia means human flourishing or happiness. So for Aristotle, eudaimonia is the highest good in life. So when you reach that, okay, so now we have a paragraph from the book. Okay, so to continue the discussion about Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, about eudaimonia, we have here a passage. This is from the book, and it says that now it is thought to be mark of a man of practical wisdom to be able to deliberate well about what is good and experience for himself, not in some particular respect, about what sort of thing conduces to health or to strength, but about what sort of thing conduces to the good life in general. So eudaimonia, we all know it means happiness or human flourishing, but for Aristotle, it's more like about the highest good that you will reach in your life. And so let's continue. This is shown by the fact that we credit men with practical wisdom in some particular respect when they have calculated well, with a view to some end which is one those that are not object of any art. So in this part, it means that between those who practice technique and pronimus, it clarifies the relationship between the good life and those who practice technique. It explains that the particularly wise man deliberates about what is good, but about what source of things conduce to the good life in general. So, technique means art or craft, or like the skill of the people to produce something, while pronimus is practical wisdom. So if you use those two, you will have a good life. So produce things and the ability to act will lead you to have a good life. Human flourishing or eudaimonia. Okay, now let's move on. Next verse, next paragraph. The man who is without qualification, good at deliberating, is the man who is capable of aiming in accordance with calculation, at the best for a man of things, attainable by action. So yes, as what I have mentioned earlier, if you have technique, if you perform it together with pronimus or your practical wisdom, it will lead you to the good life. And nor is practical wisdom concerned with universal
bio means life, ethos means behavior by Fritz Jar in 1927. It was used by biologist Van Rensselaer in 1970 with a broader meaning referring to as global ethics, a new field linking between biology, ecology, medicine, and human values in order to attain human survival and an improved quality of life.
Yeah, so actually, murag sa introduce kay siya sakto ng bioethics, right? From the word bio, which means life, and ethics, which is behavior, whether it's good or bad, di ba? But here in science and technology, we use bioethics. Based on my research, it's just like usually for the medical field. So, for example, it's like a big issue actually kung anong ibuhat na nato. So, life man siya, nagtackle siya about sa life, and if sakto ba yung buhaton or daily about sa life. So, example ani number 1 is euthanasia. So, what is euthanasia? Mercy killing, right? Yeah. So, if a patient is like
Dying.
yes, dying, and then to lessen the suffer, something like that, you will just have to end this life with, for example, injection or I don't know, right? So that's like a big issue. So then that part, euthanasia, you will really think if it's good or bad, because we talk about life here, and you can't take life, right? That easy. Next is abortion. Another issue, right?
Yeah.
Diba like, kuwan pa siya, napa siya sa fetus pa siya. Sakto ba ay mo siya ni-abort or daily? It's like something like that. And other examples of bioethics are surrogate motherhood, patient confidentiality, and animal rights. Also animal rights. Okay. So to move on, we have ethical dilemmas of science and technology. So exploitation of advanced scientific knowledge and technological devices and systems gave rise to situations in which advances seem to have turned upon their beneficiaries and creating ethical dilemmas. So for example, number 1, human experimentation. So, for example, during COVID-19, diba, like, na-produce ta o vaccines. And then, is it right na, like, dinalian ba ito ang vaccine ba yun? Wala ba ito, like, kuan jud na approve siya nga, okay ni para sa mga tao. So, for me, wala tao gihimo experimentation. Yeah, so, kita ni, ingon ni, volunteer na lang ta, more like, di-force na uban, kay, sabi uban na like, na sila sakit daan, then afraid sila sa vaccine because dili gyud ito yung surely tested and effective, right? It's just like for the compliance lang kay bawal mo gawas if wala yung vaccine, something like that. That's my own understanding about that. Next is we have threats to human survival. So since we talked all about like the first lesson, we have atomic bomb, nuclear bomb, and is that bullet powder something? Yeah, so is it that scary nga nakaka-produce mo ginana nga makapatay mo na o daghang tao? And then if you use na nimo during sa war, for example lang. Next is toxic waste. Very common for all of us. Patakatong na may basura. Next is hacking. This is also very rampant nowadays. Like every one of us is in social media platforms and different websites because of the internet, because of technology. So hacking is really scary, pud no? Like, dila mo siya sa science and technology. Kay what if magkuhan ka dira, identity theft ka dira, wala ka, upload ang mga nagsunod nimo. Next is these parties. So we have contraceptive pill for homosexuality, but I think that's not really that scary if use ng nimo with control and limitations. Okay, that's
Good afternoon, everyone. So my report is about the philosophical essay of Heidegger, question concerning about the technology. Heidegger asserts that technology, despite its creative tools, is blurred and obscured by mechanization, and it has pushed us to understand nature as a standing reserve that is hidden in the nature of things. In the specific understanding of the world, humans too are understood merely as resources. As such, we are only slaves to a process that is recreating an appearance of truth rather than manifesting the real. So, according kay Heidegger, ang kita ko no as humans kay naging slave po ta sa technology. Kay like for example, kay sa social media. Ang mga nahatag na information sa social media kay na mga misinformation about sa mga political issues, na mali lang kuan na nahatag na information, yan kita nga kuan makakita ato nga information mo to dayon ta kay mo nakita nato sa social media. So, moto si Heidegger kay nag-overcome siya, nag-create siya og kinang solutions para aning a problem by questions and confronting technology by referring us back to its forgotten roots in the arts. In a lecture entitled "The Thing in Framing the Danger and the Turning." So Heidegger's concept of the thing is not about a specific object, but a way of understanding the world. It challenges us to see beyond the mere useful of things and appreciate their inherent essence. Like for example, sa mga farmers. So ang farmers, di lang siya kaingon na farmers na tingkatan sa tingkuan sa mga farm. But also ang farmers kay nato siya na what ang kinang nato na nakuha ang mga resources ba sa mga plants, nato sa mga animals, nga na siya ba ang skills and knowledge po sa farmers na mga nag-nurture sa mga resources. Then in framing is according to Heidegger's the process by which modern technology shape our understanding of the world. It frames reality as a collection of resources to be manipulated and controlled. This framing attitude, according to Heidegger, leads to a dangerous detachment from the nature. So the danger by Heidegger warns of is not technology itself, but the way it frames our thinking by reducing everything to standing reserve below sight of deeper meaning and significance of things. This can lead to a sense of alienation, abuse of connection with the world, and ultimately a crisis of meaning. So like some examples sa katong social media kay tungod sa mga misinformation nga ato ang makuha kay makuha na tayo sa reality kung sa bilang tinuod ng mga nahitabo. So the turning kay Heidegger's turning refers to a shift in his own philosophical thinking. He realized that his earlier focus on human existence had not adequately addressed the question of being itself. This turning led him to explore the historical unfolding of being and the role of language in shaping our understanding of the world. That's so, why the future does not lead us? So, why do you think the future does not lead us? According to Bill Joy, he wrote an article in the 2000 na yan i-publish. So, according sa iya kay the reason ko nung dili na lead in the future kay because of the rapid evolutions of technology. Like ang